Good morning, beautiful people. How are you? Welcome if you're watching from Instagram. Welcome if you're watching from Facebook. I'm so happy to be with you here again on this Monday morning, and welcome to Monday Magic Webinars. My name is Ali Sugars, and each Monday I come and do these webinars which go for about 30 minutes to help share some motivation, encouragement and inspiration for your Monday mornings, and also to hopefully that something that you'll take away and use throughout your long lasting healthy lives as well. So welcome again today. The topic that I want to talk about today is don't doubt yourself. Hi, holistic health coach. Hi on Instagram, how you going? So the topic I want to talk about is don't doubt yourself. Celebrate your achievements. Wow. Something that I don't think that any of us, if we're honest with ourselves, do enough of, right? So tell me if you're watching, pop it in the comments. Have you ever experienced any of the following? Have you ever had massive self-doubt in anything? But massive self-doubt? Have you been unable to realistically talk about your own competency or your own skills? Have you had shame over a performance, whether it's been at work, whether it's been with family? Have you had shame over something that you have or haven't done? Have you had fear? This is a big one. Have you had fear, or do you have fear that you won't live up to other people's expectations? Wow. Are you an overachiever? Putting my hand up there sometimes. Have you ever sabotaged your own success? Do you set goals that are far too difficult to achieve? They're really, really challenging, but then when you don't achieve them, you feel disappointed in yourself. Have you ever felt that way, or have you ever, done those things throughout your life? I put my hand up for one, but I'm actually putting my hand up for all of them, because hands down, absolutely. So I want to talk about these today. This is what I want to talk about. And I want to bring up the term imposter syndrome, right? Now, this is a term that has been bandied around. I really didn't hear this term a lot until I came into business. But, so recently I have been hearing a lot about it. And I personally never, until I researched a little bit, I never knew exactly what it meant. So I want to talk about what it means today, but then more importantly, I want to talk about how we can deal with it and how we can overcome it. So when I was researching this, I thought I want to go online. I want to find a proper definition of what it is. So from the website verywellmind.com, this is the definition. It says imposter syndrome refers to an internal experience of believing that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be. Okay. Sometimes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you feel like it sometimes. And I think we all do feel like it sometimes. So let me read that definition for you again. So imposter syndrome refers to an internal experience of believing that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be. So it's what we're telling ourselves. The question is it the truth, right? And again, hands up, haha, if you've ever felt this way, 100%, This, and the reason I'm coming on to talk about this today is because it happened to me quite powerfully. It has happened, and is still happening, if I'm bluntly honest, quite powerfully over the last couple of months, right? Because if you've been watching the last couple of episodes, I have been doing some very powerful self-development in myself. So it's not business development. This is, self-development, work on myself this year. And the beautiful lady that I'm doing this with and who's teaching me. She's actually a friend. I've actually known her for all of last year. But I got to tell you, I was sitting in her course the first couple of times in particular that I attended a session. I'm sitting there and I'm watching her deliver it, and I'm listening to what she's teaching us. And all I could think was, is shit, she's good. Like, oh my God. All I could think was, I don't think that I'm ever going to be as good as she is. I don't know how she does this. And this is all I could think was, oh my goodness. And I felt myself, even I can feel it even as I'm talking about it, but I felt my body language just shrinking. You know, I was just shrinking into myself going, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do what she's doing. Then I sat back and thought about it afterwards. And I thought, of course I'm not going to be able to do what she's doing. Do you know why? Because I'm not her. I'm me. I'm a different person. And while I might do something similar to what she does, what I teach and the way I teach it is different. So do I have to do things exactly the way she's doing it? Absolutely not. You know, will I be as good as she is? Who cares? You know what? I'll be good in my own way. Does that make sense? So I had to kind of step back from that feeling, and each time, and I'm still doing this course, and each time I do attend this course, I still have to remind myself to step back from that feeling that I'll never be as good as she is. And I have to remind myself that it's okay, Ali, because you're good at your own, your own teachings. You're good at what you do, and you are different. You do things differently to the way she does it. So I want to get straight into the meat of it today. I don't want to focus too much on, what imposter syndrome is, because as I said, it's kind of been out there for for a while now, and I think we all get it. But I want to talk about how we can overcome it, how we can stop doubting ourselves and remember to celebrate those achievements, right? So the first thing is don't be ashamed to admit it. If you are feeling this way, that's perfectly normal, right? There are times, yes, I am in Australia, beautiful. Hi, how are you? Mwah. There are times when, we, and I hate this term, when we feel stupid, right? I don't like that term, but it does happen, unfortunately, to all of us from time to time, right? So we need to realize that just because we may feel that way, we may feel stupid or not good enough, is a nicer way to put it. It doesn't mean we are. We are all intelligent human beings. These things up here are born to take information in. We're born to learn. So no one is stupid. But, it is important that we recognize that and we admit that we've got these thoughts, and I've already made a mistake, see, because I've already mixed up point 1 and point 2, and that's okay because I'm learning from it for next time. So the second fact was, separate feelings from fact, and that was when I was saying about, feeling stupid. There are times when we feel stupid, but it doesn't mean that we are. Right? So I'm kind of going to skip over that one because I've kind of already said it. The next one is focus on the positive. Yes. The good news is if you are particularly in the space of perfectionism, which, oh my goodness, yes, did I have that in my job when I was working as an office manager? Was I in the space of perfectionism? Absolutely. But it's good to be, to kind of want to do things well. It's good that we want to care about the quality of our work or whatever we're presenting, right? But the key is to remember to strive for excellence where it matters most, right? So yeah, absolutely, you can strive for excellence, but you don't need to go for absolute perfectionism. You don't need to let it overtake you. No one or nothing is perfect. I've already proved that today, you know. But you know, if we let it overtake us, we're just going to stop trying, you know. We're going, that's when the real imposter syndrome comes in. It's like, oh, you know, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, you know. And then we make mistakes, and then we start to feel worse about ourselves. So focus on the positive, you know. Being a perfectionist isn't a bad thing. You know, we can work on it. We can make those mistakes. And that leads me into the fourth one. You know, remember that mistakes are healthy, right? And I've said this before, and I really dislike the words mistake and failure. I don't like those words. I like to look at them as, and I call them learning experiences, right? That's the way I prefer to see them as, because, hi Michelle, hi beautiful lady. Because when you make these mistakes, it's important that you go back and look at what you've learned from that experience. What did you learn from it? You know, was it really a mistake, or was it just something that you can do better next time? That's really important. And a quote actually from Henry Ford is, failure is only the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Oh, how cool is that quote? Let me read it again. Failure is only the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. I love that quote. I reckon I'm actually going to do a little Canva thing, cut that out. I'm going to stick it up on my board above my computer because I love it. Love it. We need to change our rules of thought around this, all right? So do you kind of think to yourself, I should always know the answer to everything? Do you think that? I've thought that sometimes. And again, I'm going to ask you why. Why should we always know the answer to them? More importantly, how can we always know the answer to everything? Because I've said it already today, our brains are instruments of learning, right? This is what they are made to do. No one, not one person on this planet is born knowing everything. But from the moment we are born, we start learning. And also it's important to remember that we actually all learn at our own pace. So everybody's different, you know. It doesn't make you better or worse than anybody else. We just all learn differently. We're different learners. So we need to, again, let go of that perfectionism. Let it go. Except that there are going to be times when, you know, we might need to go and ask people for an answer. We might need to go and search for an answer, you know. Do I know everything about imposter syndrome? Absolutely not. I've had to go and research. I've had to go and prepare for this webinar today because I didn't know everything about it, and I still don't. But, you know, I've got to, you know, we've just got to stop thinking that we know everything and accept that we are all active learners. Oh my goodness. Okay, so those of you who've been following me for a little while will know that I love this one. I'm a very visual person. So the next point is visualize your success. Oh, love it. So take the time to visualize, to picture yourself doing whatever it is that you're aiming to do positively or successfully. Picture a successful outcome. So if you're like, for instance, you know, if you're about to go in and do like a meeting presentation in front of your work colleagues, rather than sitting there and thinking about everything that could go wrong, you know, about people are going to walk out, people aren't going to be paying attention, rather than thinking about all of that, everything that can go wrong, the PowerPoint doesn't work, whatever, stop, take a breath, and picture having a really, really good, picture yourself presenting a really successful presentation. Picture a successful meeting. picture in your mind's eye those people that you're presenting to actively paying attention to you. You know, picture it successfully, a really good outcome. Visualize it. Because if you picture the impending disaster, you know, that quite, you know, could happen, then you're going to go in with that, oh my God, you know, that nervous feeling, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Whereas if you are visualizing success, you know, you're going to very much walk in with a better attitude. I mean, as I'm speaking to you about this, I'm actually thinking, like, I don't know what would happen if I sat there on a Monday morning before pressing go live on these webinars, if I pictured a disaster, right? I don't think I would ever press the go live button. Seriously, I don't think I would, because I would be so scared. And look, again, to be completely honest, when I started doing these webinars, I think we're up to about episode 6 now. Did I have that feeling? I kind of did, but you know, I kind of fought through it. I was more determined to picture them and myself as a success rather than be worried about anything that could go wrong. And again, you know, I've made mistakes today. It's okay. Reward yourself. This is a good one. Remember to reward yourself, because everyone deserves rewards, right? And it's important that we reward ourselves when we do a good job. You know, give yourself a proverbial pat on the back, right? When you sense that you've done a good job. It's not being big-headed, because everyone deserves to be rewarded for success, right? And here's the thing to remember too, is even if it doesn't work out the way that you want it to, you know, even if you do make the mistakes, reward yourself for that as well. Give yourself a pat on the back for that as well. And that's when you go back to celebrating the achievement, celebrating the mistakes, figure out what you can learn from it, and then celebrate what you've learned. Does that make sense? So celebrate your mistakes, celebrate that you've learned something from it, and then celebrate how you can do it differently. I added in another one there. So always remember to reward yourself. Now, this is an interesting one. This is the last one I want to talk to you about today. So believe it until you achieve it. Now, this is kind of an adaptation of the phrase "fake it till you make it," because it's another thing I don't like. We're actually not faking it. This kind of leads on from the visualization aspect of it, right? Believe it until you achieve it. So I think it's important that, you know, we remember that don't just wait until we feel confident enough to start putting yourself out there. Don't wait for that confidence to happen, because, and this is really important to remember, courage comes from taking risks. Now, I am an absolute testament to that, is that courage, you know, and this may sound big-headed, but I'm going to celebrate it today. Courage comes from taking risks. If I didn't take the risk of pressing go on a Monday morning and putting myself out there like this and presenting these webinars, if I didn't take risks, you know, if I didn't take the risk of starting my career as a women's transformation coach, if I didn't take the risk of, you know, I do half-day workshops online, that's a risk. You know, when I started doing that, it was a risk because I'd never done it before. But as I've gone on and as I've done it, courage, every time I do it, I get more courageous, because I learn something about myself. I learn from my mistakes. I learn, you know, what to do better next time, what not to do next time. And, you know, it's a really, I actually have come to love, in a weird way, love the challenge of taking risks. It's really weird how when you start taking those risks, you learn to love the challenge. It really is. It's weird. So change your behavior, first, and that will allow your confidence to build, beautiful people. And I want to show you something, right? Something that, I've talked about my professional learning that I've been doing, but I want to show you something that I have been doing, a little arts and crafts, let's call it, right? I have taken up painting recently. And it's something that I've never really had an aspiration to do until probably about a month ago. I thought, well, I'm going to give it a go. And if you can actually see behind me, those two pictures behind me were actually my first attempts ever at painting scenery. So I went on to YouTube. I looked up bought myself some paints, of course. I looked up, what was it? I think I looked up painting for beginners. And these are the results of what I came up for. I'm hoping you can see them on Instagram there. I know you can see them on Facebook. But I also, so they're little ones, right? And then I thought, I really want to do some paintings that I want to put up behind me in my office. So I thought, well, I'm going to, again, I went onto YouTube. I found something that I really liked. And I thought, I'm going to give that a go. So I watched this tutorial, I do not know how many times, right? I watched it like dozens of times because I wanted to make sure that I knew that this is perfectionism, that I knew where, thank you, beautiful, I knew where everything was, all the strokes were going to go, that I was putting the colours all in the right spot. Anyway, when it came to actually doing the painting, I found myself procrastinating over doing the painting. And I was like, why am I procrastinating over this? And I had to stop and think about it. I was thinking, Ali, it's your perfectionism coming in. It doesn't matter if the strokes aren't perfect. It doesn't matter if your painting doesn't look exactly like hers because you're an individual. And I'm going to show it off, right? So this is my first attempt ever at a big canvas painting. Now, I don't know if you can see, I know you can see it on Facebook. I'm hoping you can see that on Instagram there. But, I'm pretty proud of that effort. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty bloody proud. Is it perfect? No. But I'm proud of that. And that eventually will be going up on my book behind me. Now, here's the thing. Yesterday, I thought I was so proud of that first one that I thought I'd try another one. Now, this time, I thought, oh, I know what I'm doing. It's going to be great. I know what I'm doing. I've got enough techniques in my brain now. So I'm going to go, and I had this picture of what I wanted to create in my head. And so I went and gave it a go. Now, honestly, is this my best effort? Well, let me put that another way. Is this perfect? No. But it's not too bad it's not too shabby the way it came out. So I want to show, this is what I came up with yesterday, right? Now, this isn't anything that I pictured or envisioned it to be. But on the other hand, I'm sitting there, and even though it's not perfect, is it, even now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be up here. But even after doing this, and even after standing back and looking at this one yesterday, I was thinking, last night, what can I do? Okay, so I made a mistake here, I made a mistake there. How can I do this one differently next time to make it better? Or the next time I try painting, what can I do better? But oh, you see the bird, yay! Oh, so glad. Yes, it's meant to be a phoenix, but it didn't quite work out that way, Michelle. But, what would have happened if I hadn't tried? I wouldn't have learned, Did I have imposter syndrome when I was looking at all those people doing those fantastic artwork on YouTube? Yeah, I did a bit. But I had to push myself. I had to take the risk of giving it a go. And I'm so bloody proud I did. So next Sunday, which is rapidly becoming my painting day, I'll be trying something different. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm having fun with it, and that's the main thing. So I'm just going to end today. I'm so proud of those paintings. I was so happy to show them off. I want to say, you know, if you are watching this either, you know, live or in the replay, if you are watching the replay, pop hashtag replay down the bottom. If you're dealing with imposter syndrome, if you're dealing with that, you know, with that self-doubt, doubting yourself, I would love to invite you to my half-day workshop. I've mentioned them a couple of times today. I have a half-day workshop coming up this Saturday on February the 27th of February at 10 a.m. Adelaide time. So that's Australian Central Daylight Savings Time. And we talk about, it's actually called Awaken Your Confidence, because, you know, often when we have this imposter syndrome, like I said, we have massive self-doubt, which of course affects our confidence. And if you allow yourself to stay in that space of, you know, just constantly doubting yourself, then your confidence, you know, is 100% going to wane. I've spoken about the word confidence a lot today. So I would love to invite you to my half-day workshop, Awaken Your Confidence. It is, I'll say it again, so it's this coming Saturday, the 27th of February at 10 a.m. Australian Central Daylight Savings Time, or Adelaide time, if that's easier. And it is a women's only event. So, but if you are a bloke and you're watching this and, you know, you're thinking, I'd love to learn something along these lines, please let me know in the comments, because, you know, yes, I'm a women's transformation coach and I do work with women, but I don't want the guys to miss out. So if you are a bloke watching this, let me know if you'd like somewhere and I can direct you where to go and, you know, direct you to people who might be able to help you as well. All right. So I would like to end today by just reminding you of the title of this particular webinar, which is Don't Doubt Yourself. Celebrate your achievements. Celebrate, you know, if you're doubting yourself and thinking you can't paint, look, guess what? I was doubting myself thinking I can't paint. I've actually figured out that I'm not too bad, not too shabby at 48 years old. So celebrate your achievements, beautiful people. And if you are in that area where you're struggling with your self-confidence, I would love to have you at my half-day workshop this Saturday. So if you are watching on Instagram, you can go to the bio, click on the link there. You will be able to book in. If you are watching from Facebook, the link will be going up shortly in the comments and you'll be able to click straight onto that. All right, beautiful people, that's Monday Magic webinar for this week. I hope you've enjoyed today, and I do look forward to seeing you again next week at 9 a.m. Adelaide time. All right, everyone. Bye-bye. Mwah.